Welcome to GarageMisadventures. I'm Doug, here today with my dad Ron and my wife Mary, and today we wanted to give you a quick tour of our 30 by 30 pole barn shop. If we're going to do a quick overview of some of the tools we have here, and if you see something in this video that you want more information about, please leave us a comment, and we can do a further video in the future and cover what you want to see.
As small content creators, we really value your guys' support through liking and subscribing to our channel. The comments really help us as well. It helps us create better content and gives us ideas for what we want to put on the channel in the future, because you guys are the one watching it, so we want it to be something that's entertaining and informative for you as well.
Alright, so like I said, this is a 30 by 30 pole barn construction shop with 14-foot eaves, so we have a lot of overhead space. We did that so we could fit anything we wanted to in here. We have two 12 by 12 garage doors. They're insulated steel back garage doors, and this is built a little differently than a lot of typical pole barns. It is a normal 6 by 6 pressure treated posts, but instead of wrapping the wood all the way around the outside of the posts, the contractor we used did flat girts, which means put 2 by 6s on edge in between and framed it up, and then he sheeted with 7/16 OSB, house wrapped it, and then attached the siding. So the siding isn't attached directly to the wood. It's got a little bit more shear strength and a little bit more structure that way. So we're really happy with how it came out. The walls are an R26 insulation value. The ceiling's an R30 insulation value. So we're pretty well insulated. And then we got OSB and we painted it outside, and then we hung it up on the walls, which gave us something to hang tools and things on inside. And by painting it, it definitely brightened it up in here a lot. Overhead we have 4 LED high bay lights that put out a lot of light. I was very impressed because they are not very big in size, but they're extremely bright. The other thing we did, we pulled a natural gas line from the house, and we have a 75,000 BTU overhead unit heater. We also, when we're pulling our utilities out here, pulled an Ethernet cable from the modem in the house, and we put a Wi-Fi router up here in the corner. So we have our own Wi-Fi out here for watching how-to YouTube videos and stuff like that without using internet on our phones. It's nice. Our garage door openers are these jack shaft garage door openers, and that's really nice because they're just right there on the wall. There's no overhead, so for these big doors, they're pretty sweet. They're Wi-Fi enabled, so there's an app that can tell you if the doors are open or closed or whatever. Also in our garage doors here, we have 6 windows across each door. We have windows in the man door over here, and then we have 3 4-foot by 4-foot windows in the back, so they let in a lot of natural light as well. So you can also air it out pretty good in the summer when it's nice out. You can open the windows and the doors and get a lot of airflow going. All right, so coming in the man door, which is right behind the camera, we have our Supermax 1938 drum sander. It's pretty sweet, saves a lot of time on hand sanding. And behind me here we have a rack that my dad built for clamps, a little bit of wood, and our router crafter that we talked about in one of our previous videos is up there. This is another rack here with miscellaneous wood, mostly scraps left over from other projects that we'll use as things come up. Here I have a project going on, building these pretty cool floating shelves. I'll have a video out about that later, but building these for a friend for her house. And a workbench with the woodworking vices on the end and over here on the side. And it's got storage underneath. We keep sandpaper, things like that in. This is our router table. It's an older Rockler router table, and unfortunately it's not in great shape, but I got it real cheap off of Craigslist. But inside this table, I have a really nice Jessom router lift, and we're just using a Porter Cable 690 router to power that. But I'd like to upgrade the table at some point, but the router lift is sure nice to have. Over here we have our Delta hollow chisel mortiser. Don't use that a whole lot, but it does come in handy when we need it. And a round sander here. Underneath the hollow chisel mortiser and the sander here, we have our planer. It's just a Ryobi planer, but seems to work fine. And a Wen drill press. This one's not super expensive, but it served us well. That's something I think we'd like to upgrade at some point in the future here. Well, next to it we have our Laguna 14BX. If you're interested in that, we have a video about that, but it's on the mobility kit, so it's kind of squeezed in here, but we're able to pull it out pretty easily when we need to use it. Craftsman scroll saw, Wen oscillating spindle sander, which has also served us pretty well. For being a cheap machine, it works really well. And this is the Rikon 8-inch slow-speed bench grinder that my dad uses to sharpen his lathe tools and stuff a lot. This table he built, and it actually has two sides. He built it on a spindle here, on a rotisserie type thing. And at one point when he was squeezed in the garage before he built the shop, he had tools on both sides and he could pull the locks and flip it over. Since we moved out here, a lot of those tools have moved to other benches because we don't need to save space quite that much, and it's more convenient to not have to flip it if you don't have to.
Here's my Laguna Lathe that we bought together. It's a 12-16. It has an outboard where you can do 16 on this side and 12 on this side. I made this tool rack for my lathe tools and put stuff on the wall so I hang stuff, so I have everything right here in a good spot.
Alright, so in this back corner here we have Ron's Laguna Lathe, and it's connected to our air filtration system, and it also has a split off, so it attaches to this Hitachi 12-inch miter saw. So we kind of have these positions so that we can take full advantage of that. There are some homemade runner tables so that we can put larger pieces on the miter saw and cut. We've attached a tape measure to it so we can do like accurate measurements and stuff, and there's a T-track here on both sides for jigs and stops and different things that we need for different projects. And then there's just extra space behind for extra storage of miscellaneous tools that always seem to accumulate in the shop. Well, we're on the topic of dust collection and air filtration. Up on towards the ceiling of the shop, we have a jet air filtration system that helps also just take some of the circulating particulate out of the air. Alright, so here in the middle area of the shop, we've set up our saw stop. It's the job site model, and it was the right size for what we needed right now. We're probably going to upgrade at some point to a bigger model, but it's been a really good saw for us. The safety features were primarily what we got it for. That, and it's a really well-built tool. And SawStop's customer service has been great. They've helped us with troubleshooting and all kinds of questions that we had. So, really good company. We also set up a dust collection system just for the SawStop, just because it kicks up a lot of debris and stuff while you're cutting, and we like the clean air. My father-in-law set up these tables as like an outfeed and assembly area, and this is one of the projects that he's been working on. It's a rocking horse, obviously, but he built it for our son who has a birthday coming up relatively soon, so just something that has been going on out here recently. Alright, so on the other side of the center of the shop, we have a couple tables lined up here. So this one is our grinders and our buffer. So we've got some stone wheels and some wire wheels on the back. Don't worry, we pull it out away from the wires before we start using them. Don't ding us for safety. Then we have a 1x30 belt sander, and we have a joiner on this table. And then this is Doug and I's toolbox that has our miscellaneous tools and doodads in it that we use. And this is our track saw.
So over in this corner we have another heavy duty workbench with some hardware bins and hand tools over here. Big old vise, which is always handy for projects. And under this bench we have a lot of smaller power tools and hand tools, circular saws, angle grinder, belt sander, things of that nature are all under that bench. I have a big old air mover fan, which is handy for moving some air in the summer and cooling it down a little bit. My dad has his computer here for looking up plans and things while he's out here working, and his fridge for keeping some drinks cold during the summer. And here we have our double stack toolbox here with a lot of hand tools. And moving this direction, we have a big old chain hoist right here. I think it's just a 1-ton model, but that's been very handy. We bought this air compressor here a while back, and I just was able to back the truck in here, put a chain around the top of it, and pick it up with the pallet, drive the truck out from underneath it, and set it down. So every once in a while, this thing comes in handy. Got some cabinets here with a lot more hardware and some paints, things like that. These are the Bora Portamate wood racks. As you can see, we got a couple different levels of them, but they're really handy to have to get some of the wood that we're not using very often up and out of the way over some of our other tools. When we're working on a vehicle, a lot of times this is the bay we use, so that's why we try to keep this one clear. We have a little bit of room for either assembling big projects or working on a vehicle, whatever. This is kind of flex space. Speaking of our air compressor, this is a 60-gallon single stage air compressor. I would eventually like to get a dual stage, but this is a whole lot better than what we had. We had a little tiny air compressor that we replaced with this one. This is a Husky brand air compressor, and it does all right. It does most of what we need at the moment. All right, so on this side of the shop, we have a lot of our metalworking tools. We also have our 50 amp 220 service right here, so that's why a lot of these tools are over here, because this is where the plug-in is. I have a Lincoln AC/DC stick welder. This is our Hobart Handler 187 MIG welder. I just got this recently, haven't even had the chance to use it. This is an older snap-on blast cabinet. Currently has glass bead in it. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. I might change to a different media, but it works pretty well. It's an older model, top lifts instead of side load, which I kind of like. This is our 2x72 belt grinder. It was a shop built tool by somebody else, not me, but I got a good deal on, and has a 3-phase 2-horse motor on it, run through a VFD, a variable frequency drive, to change it to the single phase. Well, it's variable speed, and all we have right now is a flat platen for it, but maybe we'll get some other accessories for it as we start using it more. And of course, trusty chop saw over here for metal needs. Some belt storage back here for the 2x72. And that's about it out here in the shop. I have a few more things in my garage. So now we're back over here in my garage. This is my workbench here, and I have some of my sharpening stuff here, and that's because I like to sit over here sometimes in the evening when I have a few minutes and sharpen my planes and chisels and things. It's just kind of relaxing to just sit here and do that without having to go to the shop. So it's nice having this workbench in here. I built this rack here several years ago to hold all my drills and some of my battery powered tools as a charger on the end. On this wall I have my main toolbox where I keep a lot of my automotive tools and that kind of stuff. I have another one of those Bora Portamate wood racks on this wall too for my materials. And also in the garage right now is our forging stuff. We're hoping to learn more about that later this summer, and hopefully we can get this stuff moved into a dedicated space. Over here, the forge is actually back there with the hood sitting on top of it, and our other blower is right here as well. So hopefully this summer we'll be making a dedicated outdoor space for that forging stuff. My parts cleaner is also in here for cleaning automotive parts and whatever. So yeah, just a few things in here that I wanted to show you. A lot of spare Volkswagen parts and stuff on those racks, but anyway, I just wanted to share the space with you because in our videos you've seen us do projects here, seen us do projects in the shop. Just wanted to kind of share with you what we had, and if you saw anything in this video that you'd like more info on or would like to see a video on, let us know in the comments, please. Like we said, your interaction really means a lot to us as small-time creators, so definitely let us know, and we hope you stick around and catch some of our other projects here in the future. We sure appreciate you watching Garage Misadventures. Hope to see you next time.